See, I went to Naruto one because I need to get into a lot more variety, but also if you think about all the different Kage in Naruto, the Hokage are like the most OP in like if you were to go, who's the top 5 Kage in history? Probably 4, if not 5 out of 5 of them are Hokages.
Yeah, we got the Flash in there. We got yeah, we got some really hard
You
hitters.
got the
Oh boy.
first and second Hokage. Yeah,
Both
you
of those are
got
insane.
Minato. Yeah. I mean, even if you wanted to add the third Hokage, like he's right on up there. And then Naruto, like somewhere in there, they're hitting 4 of the top 5 at least.
Yeah, I mean, Tsunade, I believe is her name.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's more of a healer,
she is,
but
but she's still stupidly powerful.
yeah, I just don't know if she's at their tier.
Maybe not,
Uh,
but I don't know too
yeah,
many of the other Kages out there because it just follows a Hokage. Well, the win
a lot.
Hidden Leaf Village over a lot of the
Yeah.
others.
Yep. All right. Let's see. So we have. Did I hit the button right? Okay. We have the top 5 characters in anime. We both came up with our own 5. And so this is also going to expose me even more on my anime puddle. And
I went
so,
with some pretty old animes as well, so
all
in
right.
fact, I don't think any of my anime characters came from the newer gens. Hmm. But anyways,
I yeah, you'll see mine. Mine's pretty, full of variety. All right, I'll go first. So, I think my favorite anime manga character ever has been like Ichigo for forever. And I think I would say the reason why is he's always the one that he gets crazy power ups. He's like the super hybrid. Yeah, that's kind of like cliche. After a while, it's like, oh, guess what? He's part Quincy. He's also part this. And anyway,
part Hollow,
putting that
part Soul
aside,
Reaper, part human,
right?
part.
He's hitting everything, right? Yeah, exactly. So outside of that, and like with him and his character development, and like watching him actually go through struggles, like he's very humane. Like he like when there's so many times where like he loses hope genuinely, and then like he'll get a rally back from something and come and go and defeat somebody instead of like putting on this big, huge, attitude of, oh, I'm never gonna give up. I'm not like he's real to early on. You see him constantly like, oh, I'm just gonna go beat you, no problem. And then he gets humbled by Aizen, where he stops him with his finger, right? And you're like, oh god, there's a different level to this. And then like you skip all the way, through to like the Thousand Year Blood War arc where he's fighting Yuhaba, or however you want to say it, or Yuha, or whatever. And Orihime like thinks he's like raging, going crazy, and she like tells him to stop and like, Ichigo, think about what you're doing. And he turns and you see his face and he's super calm. He's just trying to win the fight. He's not raging, emotions, losing his mind like he has before against Grimjow or Okiora, or anything like that. Like at that point, it's the end of the series pretty much, and he's so developed that he's just trying to win the fight. He's not emotionally crying and screaming like he's developed so far from his first fights. Anyway, that is where Ichigo is in my heart of anime. Even though he's got all the abilities of everyone in the whole series, he's my goat until somebody takes that crown, and I don't see it happening anytime
Ichigo,
soon.
it's an amazing pick. Honestly, I thought about putting him on my list, but I also knew that you were probably gonna pick up because I know Bleach was one of the ones you've
Yeah,
watched. So I kind of want to
yeah.
add some variety to the list. I tried to pick anime that you haven't seen, or there's some that you might have had on there, but I can also change because I just thought of another one that I would want to add to the list, which I'll talk about later on.
Yeah. What's your and I guess I don't know, these don't have to be like in order. I guess I
Yeah,
could
I
preface.
know.
This is just top
No
5. Yeah.
order for me at all. Um, I put Edward Elric as one of my favorites. He is definitely up there.
Ooh.
Full Metal Alchemist. I watched the first version of that, and as you, most people would agree that it kind of got out there for a lot of the storyline, but Brotherhood really, I loved Brotherhood, and Edward Elric, just the way he grows in the anime, and seeing him from a cocky little brat to someone who's actually thinking things through and trying to try and realize, finally realizes at the end what he needs to do to bring back his brother. It's just that whole the whole adventure is just amazing to watch and see all the characters grow in that anime. But Edward Elric's one of my favorites.
Okay.
I think one of
That's
my favorite scenes in there is when he actually admits he's short.
ah that's funny. I've seen a couple episodes of it, and I really liked it. I liked it's alchemy, right? They're
Mm-hmm.
alchemists. Yeah, so it's like it's much more real than like, oh, magic, I'm just strong, things appear out of nowhere. Like there's a thought behind it, from what I recall years ago. But okay. And then his brother is, I think he's like that armored guy or something, right? And
Alphonse
he's trying to
Elric,
help him out.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. That's a good pull. Yeah, from what little I know, I hear that's like everyone's top one show in general, and I'd imagine that he's one of the top characters within that series, if not the top.
Yep.
Sick. All right, this one, depending on where you land in the Naruto world. So, I picked it. It's probably odd, but I picked Nagato from
Hmm.
Naruto. So Nagato is the one that's controlling all the pain, bodies, this and that. He has the Renegon. The bad on Nagato is he is corrupted pretty much his entire mission. That's revealed way, way, way later. And, but the whole thing of his, he has the Renegon and no one knows why, and everyone thinks he's like going to be the prodigy that brings everyone together and fixes everything. And then he's trained under Jiraiya, and then him and Conan, and then the third friend, what is his name? Anyway, he controls his body, as like the main pain later. I forget what his name is. I want to say it's like Yahiko or something like that. Anyway, his whole thing where he is just, I mean, one, he's badass, right? He's like, since you see him when they have their meeting in that cave, or they're not in the cave, but there's a meeting for the Akatsuki in the cave, and you see Itachi's eyes, and then you see Nagato's eyes, and you're like, oh, what are those eyes, And they don't talk about the Renegon much at all, if at all, at that point, and you're just totally
Oh, you had
drawn
no
to him
clue
because
about the
he's
all.
leader.
You only knew about one of the eye for eye
Yeah, it was like
whatever.
the Sharingan, and then
Mhm.
the one that Neji has, right? And Hinata. But like, yeah, outside of that, like you've never seen any other ones at that point. So he's just like total mystery. You're totally interested, and then you hear more about his story, and it's, I don't know. For me, it was super exciting, and then also his story is very sad, and his goal is very, I would say, pure, considering what he's being manipulated to do with the tailed beast. Like in his mind, he wants to control it, and also essentially take all the weapons from the other villages, because he's seen what happens to the Rain Village and what's the outcome of all that. And so yes, in the end, he's the leader of the Akatsuki. Yeah, he got manipulated, but like for the most part, I would say he was pretty great, considering what he did know, what he did do. And then when he realized the error of his ways, he brought everyone back and gave up his life for that.
All right. Naruto's kind of so I kind of mentioned this to you before, but Naruto's kind of one of those ones that I didn't get super into. Probably the main reason is because when I was watching it on Toonami with the English dub, and the beginning of the English dub of Naruto is terrible. There are worse dubs out there, but I believe it just got annoying to me. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people would agree with that. Um,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that the sub was so much different. I probably should go back and watch it because I think they fixed a lot of the early dubs, especially One Piece. If you ever
Mhm.
see the One Piece early dub, oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, I think I have.
I watched a lot of Shippuden, so that's where my knowledge really kicks in for that series, and that's because my friend was like, "It's so different." Watch it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it is. It's yeah. Stakes are higher.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, what do you got? What's your next one?
Um, I gotta go to One Piece. I think for next one, Monkey D. Luffy. Uh,
Ooh.
he's just a lovable goofball. He's amazing. Uh,
He's a
um,
rubber ball.
I kind of want to do the not necessarily, but whatever.
Yeah.
I won't go to spoiler territories here. Yeah, I really love how he even grows in the series. Like he becomes more serious, but he's always been one that if he does what he believes is right all the time, even if it goes against what the government says is right. And I think if you have a good enough ideas, moral compass is what I'll say. If you have a good enough moral compass, that's actually a pretty good way to live life. Just feeling like you're free, but not necessarily causing trouble, but instead fixing a lot of the trouble that's being caused. I think that's amazing. I really sometimes I wish we could do that in our life, but that's not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
A little different. We need a devil fruit. That's funny. When did you start watching One Piece?
I've
So
been
you
watching it
said
off and on since it was
Okay.
on 4Kids. It's one of those
Okay.
things I started reading the manga more because I didn't have to worry about these filler arcs because those were terrible. Oh, funny thing, in case you guys, most people know this at this point, but season 1 of One Piece is insanely long,
Like how long we talking?
like 1,000 some odd episodes.
Season 1?
That's technically season 1 now because they weren't doing seasons originally. They're doing arcs.
Oh.
But they just recently changed that to be season oriented, pretty much to give some more relaxing time for the artists and the writers and everything. And
Yeah.
so technically, everything before that, all those arcs and everything, it's technically season 1. It holds a record
Just
now
for
for the
one
longest
season.
season 1 at any anime.
Man, can you imagine trying to say, "Yeah, I'll just go binge watch season 1 real quick." It's like, "I'll see you in a couple years."
How long would it take? I'll figure this out later on, but now I'm curious how long it would take you to actually binge watch season 1 of Naruto, One Piece. Now,
Yeah. Well, we can. Yeah, for fun, I can add a graphic later and be like, here's the basic math. If you didn't sleep, go to the bathroom or anything, here's what it would take.
yeah, it would be insanely long. Not skipping
All right.
fillers either,
Yeah, all inclusive. You get it all.
because I still
Yeah.
skip fillers myself.
If I recognize it, I will try to. For the most part, I think the first time I recognized a filler like was happening was like with Bleach, and I want to say it was the
Bleach is
bounce,
kind of
and I'm
known
like,
for their
what is happening?
terrible fillers that don't make any sense for the plot that they were in.
Yeah, I think the one that I watched that I didn't really care that it was a filler and I enjoyed it was I think the guy's name was Muramasa, and he like took over everyone's on Pakto, and they were all fighting the Soul Reapers. It was pretty wild. But it was pretty cool, but I remember because I didn't know enough to go, "Oh, this is filler." I just thought this was like adding on to the show, and I was like, "This is so confusing. What this guy is over here bleeding to death like 4 episodes ago. How did he come back?" Anyway, it took me a while to go realize, oh, filler is a thing. It's not all connected. Yeah. Yeah.
If you think
All
about it, the
right.
original
Well,
Full Metal Alchemist is pretty much all filler.
the original is
Yeah, up until
not Brotherhood.
so yeah, the original they kind of went off and did their own storyline. The Brotherhood's actually what the manga has.
Oh, okay. So when I check it out, I need to check out Brotherhood, and
I
that
would
is
suggest,
going to
yeah.
heal me.
You can watch it. Like some people actually really like the original Full Metal Alchemist. I really didn't like how they did the homunculuses in that one. I think that kind of made me go, really? That logic's kind of
Yeah,
blah. And the ending of
yeah.
that also was one of the things that kind of threw me off of the original.
Okay. Oh, let's see. So my next character is probably another very basic character, but I'm going to I'm going to find out real quick what I need to get into from everyone at home. Was Gohan from Dragon Ball, all of it. When you look at when Gohan's story like starts, he's like headbutting Raditz at like 3 or something like that. Like,
He was a bit
he
older than 3, but yes.
or I don't even think so. Like because I want to say in the Namek saga he's like 5 or 7 or something, and then by the time the Cell saga happens, he's like 11. Like I want to like he's
I'm
called
actually
Teen
curious
Gohan at
now.
that point. Yeah, I want to say he's called Teen Gohan by the time the Cell saga or when
Yeah,
he fights
that's
Cell.
Teen Gohan. Yep.
Yeah, but is he actually a teen? I thought he was like 11 or 12, and he's just called that.
I don't know.
Anyway, I guess I'll go into my reasoning. So my reasoning is like I'm just like most people that are in our age group of I was watching Toonami. You had watched Gohan grow up to be just, he was a kid. He's fighting, he starts off like I said with headbutting Raditz. He's or maybe it was no, I don't think it was Vegeta. But then he like, he's tangoing with Frieza, I think in his second form at one point before Goku gets there, and then all hell breaks loose. And then he really skyrockets in the Cell saga specifically, where he's just, I mean, nobody is able to even beat the Cell Juniors, and then he's going and one-shotting all of them, and then goes and takes on the big bad Cell by himself. The one-handed Kamehameha is like one of
The
my favorite
iconic
anime
scene,
moments
yes.
ever. Yeah, it's so good. And uh, I was him and Han between Goku and Gohan. Because I was thinking Dragon Ball series in general, and I don't know. I legit grew up with Gohan more, and then he definitely like had like a like quote unquote like fall off time where he between Cell and Boo saga he's just a normal guy again.
He keeps on going
And
back to that. I think that's kind of one of the things that throws me off of Gohan every so often is that all of a sudden, oh no, he's back to being just a normal person despite having stupidly
and I
powers and.
And for me, yeah, and for me, I think that's great because this is where I say like in my head I'm growing up with him because I have kids now too, and I just want to be a normal dude and hang out and go go to work, hang out with my kids, have a blast. I don't want to go grinding, working out to go fight these universal threats all the time. Like that's what his dad and Vegeta literally lived to do, love to do. And Gohan has never been the I can't wait to go train again. He's
Mhm.
always wanted to. He's had different goals, and um, I don't know. That's where I think Gohan is in my heart. I literally bought the Beast Gohan statue thing, literally right here. I could show my Ichigo one too. And excuse me. And I don't get me wrong. I don't really like the Beast Gohan, how it came to be,
And the
but
show,
it is
yeah,
what it is.
in the
Yeah,
movie, yeah.
yeah. I don't really like how it's just Gohan got really upset. Poof, he's up there with his dad and
Poof.
Vegeta, who's been spending series, of hardships in like and the how they get to Super Saiyan God in general, let alone like UI and whatever. So yeah, I definitely recognize the flaws. Anyway, growing up on Toonami with Gohan as a kid when I was a kid to now be an adult, and Gohan's an adult doing adult things that like he believes are his responsibility and interest. I relate a lot more to, which is why I picked him as my next one.
Fair enough. By the way, according to Google's AI, how much I trust it is very minimal, but he says that
Yeah.
he's 4 at the beginning of the Raditz saga.
Z?
Yeah. At the
Yeah.
PNC.
Okay.
So he was younger than I thought, but
Older than
apparently the Cell saga he was about 9-10 is what I was saying.
Okay, yeah. See, he wasn't a teen. I
Fair
was
enough.
saying 11 to be generous. Yeah. Imagine you're the 9-10-year-old and they're like, you go fight him. Also, your dad just fed him a sensu beans and died. So good luck, you know?
Yeah.
Like I could not imagine.
Yep. All right. I guess I'll go for my next one, which I went pretty far back to another 4Kids series. Yukimoto.
The
king of games.
Kids. I was like, I didn't even think of 4Kid stuff. Yugi was literally the first person that popped in my mind, and then you said it. That's
Yukimoto.
awesome.
I had to do him. I should preface this, not the Pharaoh, Yugi, the original, the actual little kid that constantly afraid of anything. I love the growth that he has in the series to the point at the end that he can finally beat. Spoilers. Look, it's an old enough anime. I think you can do spoilers. Spoilers. He beats the Pharaoh, who has all 3 God cards and, of course, cheats throughout the whole freaking anime. But that's another story.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot. Yeah. Maybe we go through. Maybe we come up with a segment for some duels and just go. All right, is this in the rules or not? Are we making?
There's only been people who've done that, and it's insane how many times he cheats. It's more of there was no set rules in the original, especially in the first season. Duelist, Duel Island or whatever it is, the one that Pegasus put on.
Pegasus.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was absolutely no idea what the heck this card game was going to be.
Yeah, I mean they didn't have to tribute. Like it's just like Kaiba's slapping Blue Eyes, every turn. Like there's no like build up to it. Yeah.
They also couldn't attack you directly. They had to attack the monsters, and there was a whole bunch of BS plays in there, and you can see where it could have gone. But I'm kind of happy. Honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays is kind of blah. That's the reason why I don't really play it. But
I'm just so confused. I used to play that game religiously.
There's so many mechanics now to the point that you can summon so much on turn 1. It's ridiculous.
Yep. That's another segment idea.
Yep.
Okay. So Yugi, let's see. I remember the last duel. I don't remember how he beats him, but I do remember that the Pharaoh gets the 3 gods on the field, and then it's just like, what are you gonna do? Like the 3 strongest cards.
He exploits Cypher to get rid of 2 of them. I think the last one one of his monsters actually gets above their power to kill it, if I remember.
Okay. Nice. That's sick. Yeah, that's a good pull. Literally, I did not even think of all the 4Kid stuff until you literally said it, and I was like, I would pick Yugi up there, and then you said it. That is such a good pull. Yeah. I love his hair. His hair is insane.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge just makes me think of that scene. Your hair's crazy enough to count for 2 people. Come on board.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. All right. Well, my next one, since we're kind of in that realm of the anime from back then, I picked Pikachu. Ash's Pikachu.
I thought about Pokemon. I just couldn't think of a good character to pick from there.
Yeah, as much as I like Ash and I like Red, at one point I was reading the Pokemon manga.
Red's amazing. Like I really wish they went more with Red with the series than they did with Ash.
Yeah. I want to come back to reading the Pokemon manga. I think I didn't get very far. I think I got a little bit into Yellow's story, which is how they like save Red later or something.
I got into Gold and Silver. Was it Gold and Silver?
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot, dude. I didn't realize it.
No, it was Pearl
until
and Diamond that annoyed the heck out of me. That's who it was.
okay.
I'm trying to think which. It was a duo, and the duo just really irked me, and it was Pearl and Diamond because they had this
I
huge comedy thing that was going on. It was just ridiculous.
to go on a side tangent, I didn't know Pokemon manga was a thing until I saw a random scan online where it was Mewtwo and he was gonna fight, it was someone like Darkrai or something. There was a part, but Red had Mewtwo.
Yeah,
And I was like, what the heck? What is
it's
this
more.
is the thing?
Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
Mewtwo just kind of comes and goes whenever he wants. It usually helps Red out.
Yeah, but that totally like made me go look it up and find it. And then I was like, oh, I need to read these. And
There's
I
a
still need to
picture
come
that
back.
got. Yeah, I was in the same boat. I did not know there's a manga for the longest time until I
Yeah.
saw a picture of Red with Charizard behind him and showing the size difference. I'm just like, what the heck is this from?
Yeah.
Maybe look it
Yeah,
up.
so good. Yeah, I do want to come back to that now that we're talking about it. I totally
We can definitely
spaced
do
on
a
the actual
Pokemon manga section differently.
Yeah, no, that was super fun. Yeah, so back on Pikachu, picking Ash's Pikachu. I mean, I honestly could flip between Red or Pikachu. Maybe I'll research a little more on my decision making. The Pikachu is like he's like the best friend of the show. Like he is the guy or the Pokemon that is like no matter what, Ash can rely on Pikachu. Whether maybe he doesn't pull the dub, but he's the goat. Like Ash is in trouble and he's got Pikachu, there's still a chance. Like Ash could win, even if, he gives away his Butterfree, he gives away his Pidgeot, he's giving away all these other Pokemon. And Pikachu, he's not transforming Pikachu. He's going and beating Surge. He beats Brock with the water sprinkler. Like,
we should go through Ash's Pokemon and see which ones would make his team even better at the end. Even though he does have that awesome Greninja, but
yeah, that'd be fun too.
But Pikachu, yeah, definitely, like he was the reason why Ash won that final tournament.
Yeah,
it was literally
he's
Pikachu versus Charizard.
Yeah, insane. I mean, so much personality. Episode 1 of like, get away from me, I hate your guts, and then, Ash, gets him to warm up to him, and then Pikachu is like I don't want to say a dog, but like that's what I think of for like best, man's best friend. Like that's like Ash's best friend, like genuinely, like at another level where he can completely understand. He can kind of communicate back, a little bit to where you understand it, kind of like Groot, in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like
I am Groot.
He's saying the same thing,
Pikachu,
but like,
yeah, there we go.
but you kind of like realize what they're trying to say, right? And anyway, Pikachu, like iconic, got pretty much most people into Pokemon, or is the first one you've seen, and that Pikachu specific, yeah, exactly, yeah, and that Pikachu specifically.
For the people who are just listening, I actually have a Pikachu above my head, so
yeah, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that for the visual, yeah, so good, Pikachu, amazing, Ash's Pikachu specifically, yep.
Yeah, that Pikachu is actually amazing. It only took Ash and Pikachu both nearly dying for him to get to actually like Ash. Yeah, and seeing Ho-Oh, which I still say that's insane.
Yep. Hey, what's your? Let's see, what are we at? Number 4. What's
Number
your?
4.
Or are you at? Yeah, what's your 4?
So, I had to go with Gurren Lagann character. It's one of my favorite animes. It's definitely up. At least it's definitely up there. But I'm not picking Simon. I picked Kamina, which, in case you guys don't remember, that's the guy who died earlier on.
Oh. Okay, now I gotta know why.
Oh, I love that character. He pretty much made Simone, if you ask me. If he wasn't there, Simone wouldn't have left there. He wouldn't be interested. He would still be a digger, but he wouldn't be the Simone we know, and people living up in the surface would still not be a thing for a long time. If you ask me, his actions is what made that anime, and it was his death that actually drove Simone to actually become the person he was at the end, because he actually believed. He actually started out just believing that Kamina was he believed in Kamina. Then he said Kamina believed in him. And after he died, he realized he can no longer rely on that belief, and he began to believe himself, which made his spiral power grow immensely. And yeah, it's all because of him. And I really love that character just because of how he gets Simone out of his comfort zone so much just to help him grow.
Yeah. That's another series that I like watched half of, and I've been meaning to come back. It was such a gut wrencher when he dies. Whoops! I just knock over my.
Again, this is kind of spoilers. It's halfway through the anime, but at the same time, it's old enough that I think we can do spoilers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You don't have to. Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that. And if if folks want to go and have us preface it up front, like if we start talking about a character or a series, you're probably going to need to understand that we're probably going to talk about spoilers, especially when they're done and like well done. So like if there's like a new JJK release or
yeah, we'll be careful with the newer stuff, especially if we're going to manga territory and it has been an anime. Yeah, we're not gonna go that far deep. No way.
Yeah, and if we were, maybe we'll preface it and be like, hey,
spoilers, and we'll probably do a skip section. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to allow you to do that. Okay, that's a good pull. From what I remember, he was a big deal in the show, and for, I think I watched like the dubbed version, and I thought his name was Simon this whole time.
Simon,
or how you pronounce it? Yeah. Okay. That's a good pull. All right. So mine, if any of you know me from my YouTube, lore, power scaling, nerdy, geeky stuff, I did a lot of DMC or Devil May Cry, and I felt like this was an easy pull because he wasn't an anime. I picked Dante from the original anime, not the Netflix one.
Okay.
The Netflix one was, I don't know. I'd give it like, for quality, if I was to go and say, is it true to the story? No, it's not true to hardly anything. But as it was entertaining, sure, yes, I'd give it a 6 or 7 as entertainment. But the one from I want to say it was like late 2000s. Dante is in an anime series for a little bit. It looks visually really well. It's very dark. It's demons. It's not supposed to be all bright colors and pretty. Like Dante's life, like, yes, he's super powerful, he's super fast, all these things, but he's also like super depressed. Everything around him fell apart when he was a kid, and he's trying to do everything he can to get rid of demons, and he just doesn't have a book of knowledge and that was given to him of like, here's how you get rid of the Emperor of the Underworld, here's the threats you're gonna, like, he's just going at them one at a time. And anyway, yes, DMC or Devil May Cry will always have a place in my heart, and I felt like I was able to pull Dante for this category because he's, specifically for that series. I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to pull up some old notes, but I feel like the series can be canon to the game, depending on who meets who and when and things like that. But anyway, Dante from the original DMC anime, I watched it again. I watched it when it first came out, and then I watched it again in the past couple years, and still it held up. I loved it.
So the anime I haven't watched.
Yeah, yes, I got one.
Yeah. I have played the games. I've seen people play through the games much better than I could. Definitely.
It's hard.
It is insanely hard, and I definitely could not get nearly as good as some people do, but
yeah.
But I just had never watched anime. I don't know. I don't always watch anime based on games. That being said, I have watched Danganronpa, so I guess I can't always say that.
Yep. All right, Blade. What is the last one on the list?
So I got this last one, but I also want to do a runner-up because, like I said, while we were chatting, I thought of one I really want to do him. But the last one I put on my list was TK from Digimon. Digimon Adventures.
Ooh.
Or I always forget his actual name. It's Takira Takashi. I don't know. Look, I know he has a another name. I just always call him DK growing up. But he's one of the characters that I love watching him grow. Plus, Padamon's probably one of my favorite Digimon. So, um, but especially when you go into Digimon Adventure 2, seeing him become the mentor to the next generation really does help with him. Him and Kyrie both grew a lot through that series. It's just amazing to see that. And I'm really happy that O2 did not keep on going with Ty and Matt. I
Okay.
really got annoyed that this is kind of one of the things that annoyed me at Digimon. I'm really happy that the newer ones don't do it as much. Is that they tend to focus on just they have all these characters and they focus on one or two of them, and they become the only ones really fighting throughout the series. It happened in almost all of them. Three was a Digimon Tamers was a bit of a different story, but it happened in one, two, happened in Digimon Frontiers, and honestly, I haven't watched much after that because I could not get over Shoutmon and a bunch of other Digimon that they added. But
Yeah.
I do notice that
So
Digimon tend to do that a lot. But if you haven't seen the new one, Beat Break, I strongly suggest it. It's actually been a really good watch. I think one of the
okay.
things I really
So
liked about it is that the main character doesn't even get. He's the last one to get a champion level Digivolution. I love that.
oh, okay. So the characters, because I don't think I've really watched Digimon and understood like any of the story because I don't think I watched it enough to like piece it together. So the characters you're talking about they're the human characters
Mm-hmm.
that were getting overshadowed by two specific characters.
Yeah, so TK's the little brother to Matt. He is the young one with Patamon, and only really Patamon only really devolves like at the end. It seems like of almost every single season. Like he doesn't even get
Okay.
his ultimate form until close to the end, which I thought that was really sad. I would have loved to see more of Magna Angemon. Um, and we never see his mega. We don't see a lot of people's megas, which is something that changed in the. They did a re-release of this, a remake of this, in 2020, I believe, and
Hmm.
then they got a lot more of their mega evolutions, but still kind of focused more on Ty and Matt, which I said I don't really care for, but.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I feel like we hit a good variety. Did we ever?
Oh, my
I don't
runner
think
up.
either of us. Oh yeah, sorry, I totally forgot. Okay.
Oh, good, oh, good. So I just want to read this out. Like I said, I thought about this later on, but it was if you ever seen Rioni Kenshin Himura, I love his character.
Did see that. Uh,
Especially, and
okay.
so
Why
I
do you?
would say watch the read the manga over watching the anime. I know that they're doing a remake of the anime. I'm hoping that goes more off the manga because it has a much better ending in the manga.
Okay. So what made them? What made them the runner up?
So honestly, I probably would have replaced probably Monkey D. Luffy with them, but um,
Okay.